Did you ever accidentally hop, or if you did, you might have just unleashed an ancient Chinese nightmare. This is the Jiangshi, the stiff corpse that rises from the grave to drain the life force from the living. Now known as the Chinese hopping vampire, it's a creature born from centuries of folklore that has evolved alongside Chinese society. Let's take a deep dive into the legend. So what exactly is a Jiangshi? The term Jiangshi translates roughly to stiff corpse. When this creature reanimates, it's seized by rigor mortis, forcing it to move by hopping on two legs with its arms outstretched. It may seem silly, but this image was so disturbing that during the Qing dynasty, 1644 to 1912, people believed lightning strikes or a cat jumping over a coffin could raise one. Now, this belief was largely based on ancient Chinese folklore that attributed reanimation to unresolved spiritual turmoil, such as violent deaths, suicides, improper burials, or souls lingering due to unfinished business. The Qing scholar Ji Shaolon 17241-805 even went so far as to classify Jiangshi into two types: recently reanimated corpses whose souls were impure and long buried under composed bodies whose souls had already corrupted. But there was another reason for the Jiangshi's hopping motion, and it was a very human one. You see, during the Qing dynasty, many migrant laborers died far from home. To transport these bodies back to their villages for burial, corpse drivers, shonggugong, would strap them to bamboo poles and carry them at night. The up-down motion of carrying the corpse created a bouncing illusion that inspired the hopping motif, and because they feared the undead might awaken, drivers would ring bells to warn passers-by. This practice, which reached its peak in Jiangshi, Hunan, was not only a superstitious tradition, but also a desperate response to poverty. Due to a lack of government support, families couldn't afford to hire people to carry their dead, so they turned to corpse driving instead. Over time, these stories of corpse drivers and reanimated cadavers merged with local superstitions, giving rise to the Jiangshi. According to tradition, a Jiangshi could be brought back by a variety of supernatural triggers, such as a lightning strike or a cat, especially a black one or a pregnant one, leaping over a coffin, the absorption of Yang life force, or the use of Daoist necromancy, spirit possession, or an imbalance of the Han good soul and Po evil soul. The Jiangshi was typically depicted as wearing the long green official robes and Mandarin hats of a Qing dynasty bureaucrat, symbolizing the oppressive nature of China's last imperial era. Its face was pale or greenish-white, due to mold or fungus, and its hair and nails continued to grow after death. It had a long tongue and sharp black nails, and some modern depictions give it fangs as well. In terms of abilities, the Jiangshi was said to be able to drain the qi life force from its victims, causing them to feel weak or die. However, unlike Western vampires, it didn't drink blood. Instead, it absorbed the life essence directly through its skin. Also, despite its supernatural powers, the Jiangshi was mindless and driven purely by instinct. It could detect humans through their breath, but was otherwise blind. It moved by hopping or, in more powerful cases, flying, and was active only at night. By day, it hid in coffins, caves, or in the forests. While fearsome, the Jiangshi wasn't invincible. Its weaknesses blended Daoist mysticism with folk pragmatism, such as being immobilized by talismans written in chicken blood placed on its forehead, being repelled by mirrors and light which reflected their decayed form, being warded off by peach wood, which embodied the five elements, essence, being unable to detect victims who held their breath. Other items used to counter the Jiangshi included rooster calls to herald the coming dawn, glutinous rice to purify evil spirits, and jujube seeds nailed into their spines. Even certain architectural features like high door beams could keep the Jiangshi out, since they required 15 centimeters thresholds to pass through. By the late Qing dynasty, these legends were compiled in various texts, such as Yuan Mei's Zaibuyu 1788, which described the corruption of the Po soul. But it wasn't until 1985 that the Jiangshi exploded in popularity thanks to the Hong Kong film Mr. Vampire. This movie sparked a whole new subgenre of Chinese horror films, blending elements of the supernatural, comedy, and martial arts. Today, the Jiangshi continues to fascinate audiences around the world, proving that sometimes the stiff corpse just wants to hop. So do you think the Jiangshi is a silly myth or a serious threat? Let me know in the comments below. And thanks for watching.